Welcome back. We are at a seminal moment, and by the way, the welcome back thing made me think of something just to give you an idea how random I can be. I considered throwing on the Welcome Back Cotter theme song when I said welcome back, but that would cause two problems. One, it'd get me a copyright strike, and two, it would identify how old I am, so I'm not going to do that. Anyway, back to the 32. This will be the last video on the 32 for some time, and here's why. That is a good thing. This is why. I have gotten to the point now where all I've got to do is put down cool mat, sound, and heat insulation down on the floor of the trunk and the cab of the car. That's it. Now I have done some things off camera this morning, primarily because my camera was in the house and I'm too lazy to go get it at those points, so I waited until I went in and grabbed some lunch, and then I grabbed the camera and come back. But this is what I've done so far this morning, tying up some loose ends and some little problems that always come up on me. If during the demonstration of these activities you determine that I am a hack, number one, that is nothing new, and number two, really don't care. I just hope you enjoy the content. This right here, this is another access panel that I've put in. This was holes cut to allow for wiring for the fuel system and access to the fuel system and everything else. Got the trunk completely cleaned out, got the cab of the car completely cleaned out. So now I'm going to be using Cool Mat to line all of this. Now I also have some other items. I think I'm going to use some different stuff other than the Cool Mat to do the trunk, primarily because it's cut into 1 foot squares, and that is this. Just a minute ago I accidentally grabbed that box thinking that's what I was grabbing, but what that is that's a shelf I haven't put up in the shop yet. What this is basically the Summit Racing version of Cool Mat, but instead of being one long sheet, it is in individual 1 foot square sheets. Now I've only got a couple of pieces of this left, but what I'm going to be doing with this is I'm going to be getting around the battery and things like that will be a little bit more difficult to get to. But this is basically the Summit Racing version of that, and it looks like it's 1 foot by 2 foot, so my bad. It's been a while since I've dealt with that. I'm going to use that to line as much as I can in here, and of course the Cool Mat will go in there. The thing I've got to do, I've got a mess in there, a lot of fiberglass shards and things like that. Got to vacuum it up, so let's clean it up and get started. All right, I am done with this for now. That's not all of the underlayment I need to lay, but it is all I'm going to lay until I get it to interior, because we may have to make some adjustments depending on where things mount and things like that. So I didn't want to get too carried away. I can cover the firewall later. I've got it around the hump. We may do something like, I don't know, jute or some kind of carpeting, heavy carpeting there. You can see that I've got aluminum tape covering the seams, so it looks nice and neat back there. If I can quit hitting my head, let's walk around and go to the trunk area. And you can see we've got it pretty much roughed in as well. Around the battery, I've got some gaps to fill in. I've got one more sheet of the 2x1 foot summit sheets, but I've got a whole other roll of the cool mat. I will say this: the summit sheets are more expensive, but they stick better and they're a little bit easier to lay because you're doing it in segments as opposed to a huge roll. The coolant does stick after a while, but you have to really work with it. As you can see, it looks real good. But the other stuff seems to form fit better, mold, and get into place better. So I think I like it a little bit better. But both will do the job excellently and not have any problems. Now, what's next? Well, very simple. I'm done with this thing for a while. We're going to get back on the Cobra bodywork starting this week. The Mustang, I've still got some work to do on it, and I can do that stuff, but I want to go ahead and get the body work on that. I'm doing the painting on this fuel tank right here. I've kind of gotten into the motivation of painting, and that's the way I work. It's aggravating for most people, I understand, but I get involved in one particular thing, and I work it and work it and work it, and then I get disgusted with it, have to get away with it, which is why I haven't touched the Cobra in a while, because the body work still has a long way to go. The fitment of the doors and the trunk and stuff like that, it's just a nightmare. So I've got a lot of work to do on that, but this one, this is all I'm going to do until we take it to the interior. My interior guy is the best in the business, in my personal opinion, and he is backed up solid usually. So basically, I've just inserted myself in line. I'm going to drive down. It's a 3.5 hour drive to his place. I'm going to drive down this next weekend and pick out the material. May shoot some video on that. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But I'm going to pick out the material, and then we'll just basically put it in the queue, put this thing aside, and let it sit until we are ready to get going on the interior on this car. I hope you enjoyed this one. This is finishing up the 32 for now. So the next video you see will be on the Cobra, and of course I'll be doing some stuff on the Mustang too. Please hit like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.